Hello, welcome again, English Online. Today we are going to talk about questions in English. So, as we know that there are different types of questions in English and most of the time, from my experience, what I have seen from my students, they find it really difficult to ask questions, and they don't know how to formulate the questions and what kind of style they're going to use. They want to be formal, informal, polite, and so on. So these I want to show you a very interesting presentation about the questions in English. So there are basically two types of questions. One is a direct, another is indirect. And the direct questions can be yes, no questions, as you can see here. Yes and no questions. For example, how can we formulate yes no questions? So when we want to ask a questions by using auxiliary, right, like do, does, did, has, like this, has, have, was, where. So we use this auxiliary verb to make a yes no question. For example, do you speak Russian? So you may say yes or no. So the answer is very short. Did he speak French in school? So you can answer yes or no. So like this, you can make a question by using the auxiliary verb do, does, did, has, have, was, were, will, am, is, are, etc. So the structure is very simple. So auxiliary verb, so we have auxiliary verb plus we have subject, right, the subject of the sentence or the question, then the main verb, we say this is a main verb, and the object. So this is very easy to remember. Auxiliary, subject, main verb, and the object. So do you speak? Do is an auxiliary, you subject, speak main verb, and Russian is object. So I hope you understand it. And now if you look at WH questions, the WH questions, right, and we use this question to know more information, to know more details, and because of that, in some grammar books you'll find explanatory question, or WH questions or explanatory questions. So what are these words? WH. The words begin with WH. For example, where, what, why, when, who, which. And also we have a word WH, but even though actually it doesn't start with WH, so it's how. So these are WH words when we talk about explanatory questions, and we use the same structure from these yes no questions, but we put this part in front of these WH words. For example, this one plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus object. Yep, as you can see. For example, what do you want to drink? What, this is WH, auxiliary do, you is a subject, want is a main verb, and drink is an object. What do you want to drink? For example, why does he want to study English? Why is WH, does is auxiliary, he is a subject, want is a main verb, and to study English this. Now if I say when we use yes no and when we use WH question, for example, initially when we start conversation we say for example, you meet a friend abroad and you want to say, oh, do you speak Russian? He says yes, I can speak Russian. And then say you want to know more information about. Then you ask, where did you study Russian? Where did you learn Russian? Right? Where? And then you say why, and why did you learn Russian? And then you say when did you study Russian, right? So I mean, to get additional information, when you want to know more and you want to get additional information, we use WH questions, yeah, like this, yeah. So these are very connected. Now if we move to the indirect questions, in this indirect questions part 2, there are also indirect questions that we use when we want to be not straight, direct, yeah. For example, in this case, we use expressions like, can you tell me? Can you tell me? Do you know why? Do you know why? For example, you want to know the time, so you say, can you tell me what time it is? Or it would be the simply, if I say it's a direct question, in the direct question it will be, what time is it? What time is it? Direct questions, right? If I say, what time is it? Yep, what time is it? So it's a direct question, but here I make it indirect, maybe more polite, yeah. Can you tell me what time it is? Or do you know why he is so late? Do you know why he is so late? So it's a direct, actually, why is he so late? Direct, why is he so late? But I want to make it a more polite and indirect, so I have to say, do you know why he is so late? And also in indirect questions we can use yes, no, but in this case you have to remember that we use if, and also we use whether to make it a yes, no question. Yep, yes, no questions. For example, if you look at is it okay if I take your pen? So is it okay? So it means that you want to know whether it's all right or not. With the informal yes no question. Also we can use whether. I would like to know whether he's from England. Yeah. So when we want to be polite and ask questions that you're not sure about, then we say, is it okay? I would like to know. Do you mind? Etc. So I hope this little presentation about questions help you, and moreover you need more practice, because as I always say, practice makes perfect. So please try to practice these questions in different contexts, and hope you will be able to ask questions correctly in different contexts. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.